What up, what up, what up, YouTube? Myers Life here. I got Matthew here too. Say hi. He has all his friends. Show everyone your friends. Hi. Hi. All right, so let's get into it, all right? All right, watch out, Matthew. Let me give them some content. All right, so I've been reading every day from the Esther and Jerry Hicks Law of Attraction deck. And as you can see this picture, there's a face and there's a bird cage on top of it. And it says, the story I tell is the basis of my life. All right. The story I tell is the basis of my life. So I'll read. There is no right or wrong way to tell your improved story. It can be about your past, present, or future experiences. The only criterion that is important is that you be conscious of your intent to tell a better feeling, improved version of your story. Telling many good feeling short stories throughout your day will change your point of attraction. Just remember that the story you tell is the basis of your life. So tell it the way you want it to be. This is huge, okay? Because we create our realities based upon the story that we tell. My story was, well, I'm a minority and, I didn't grow up with much money and I'm not going to have success easily in corporate settings because I'm at the lower rungs of the ladder and there's a glass ceiling there. And, everyone says I'm very quiet and introverted, so I'll never much of anything. And I'm going to always have to stay in my place and be mindful of what I say and do to make sure that I don't overstep my boundaries or trigger anyone to make them feel threatened, maybe because of my degrees or education. So I have to be very mindful of, how I present myself and what I say. And, I don't have much money and it's going to take me about 20 years to maybe get to a decent salary grade. And, I don't have much support as far as mom and dad and family go. So I'm kind of out here on my own. Now, you see how that sounds? Very limiting. And the stories that we tell ourselves can really limit what we become. So I think this does a great job at highlighting the point that, what story are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself that negative story that was kind of programmed in, maybe from school, maybe a teacher in grade school, maybe a parent figure, maybe, bullying in school where they called you names or, made fun of you? Are you telling yourself that story? Or are you focusing your intent upon telling a story that elevates you one step up from where you are? So, where are you right now? That is the first question to you all. Really do some evaluation, write it on, down, maybe journal it, and really identify what the story is that you're telling yourself. Once you know exactly, okay, this is the story I've been telling myself. This is the drum that I've been beating daily, daily, daily. This is the story that everybody else validates. You know, I don't want this story anymore. I want this story. So if you could tell yourself the next best story from where you are, you will eventually climb your way into living that physical story that you desire. So, instead of, there's a glass ceiling and I'm a minority African American woman and I'll never, get the leadership roles or the finances X, Y, and Z, I'm telling myself another story. In my heart, I truly desire to be an entrepreneur. In my heart, I truly desire to be a content creator. In my heart, I truly desire to motivate people, individually and within their close relationships. That story sounds a lot better. And that's the story that I've been working on and growing and cultivating. And it's like, just like, you plant a garden and you plant seeds and you got to water it. So you got to keep telling yourself that story. And, if you can focus your day on telling the next best version of your stories throughout that day, you will climb that ladder to living the life that you truly, truly desire. So please, first step, write down the story that you're telling. It doesn't have to be a whole big page, paragraphs, books, novels. Just a couple sentences like, okay, this is the story I'm telling. And then rewrite that. What's the next best version? One clinical exercise I do with a lot of my clients in counseling is a narrative therapy technique that involves writing out your life story as chapters of a book. So, what would your first chapter be entitled? For example, mine is asthma, because as a young child, I just had asthma and it just dictated everything. I couldn't learn how to swim, I couldn't go outside and play with the other kids. So, that would be my first chapter. My second chapter would be finding my way. So now that I had finally gotten my asthma under control, now what do I do? How do I integrate myself into my school setting and get through high school, middle school, etc., right? And then when I got out of there, I would call a Jersey girl because I moved to Jersey. Rutgers alum, shout out to Rutgers, Scarlet Knights, RU. Um, that was a pivotal time in my life, and boy, did I have a blast. Those college years are the best, okay? And then I would dictate the next chapter as Chicago, because I spent 7 years in Chicago, and it was amazing. Chicago, the culture, the vibe there, I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. It got a little violent there for a while. There was a lot of shootings and crime. But beyond that, I really do miss Chicago. I miss the food, I miss the festivals, the music. And, it really hurts me. COVID is really impacting culturally how we're living our lives. And, all those things we take for granted, like going to eat and going to this concert or show or lounge with jazz music or whatever culturally that you gravitate to, this is really impacted. So I would name that chapter Chicago. And then let's see, Biloxi Blues, because then I moved to Mississippi and had my Southern experience, and the food was great. Gained some weight, had my son there, just love Mississippi, miss my people there. Shout out to Gulfport, love y'all. And then I transitioned to Arizona, and I would call that Methadonia because I moved here to actually supervise a methadone clinic, which was interesting in itself. So, what would the chapters of your life story be? And, I share this information to let you know we're all human, we're all in this together. And the things that I use in my counseling and coaching, I use for myself as well. Because we're all on the same journey together. We're all here in time and space together. And I feel very passionately about what I do. And I just, you know, focus in on what the story is that you're telling yourself, because that story dictates the reality of your life. All right, love you guys. Mars Life.